we've been kind of holding this little secret from you guys for a little bit. So where are we?
We are just coming back out from our property again.
And what are we in?
Our truck.
And what am I doing?
Driving the truck.
It's so
I
cool.
think.
So we've been kind of holding this little secret from you guys for a little bit. But about a week and a half ago, Martin said, hey, I took a drive up to near your property, and it turns out that they have been logging down the road from where our camper is. And so today, we finally, with the weather being a bit more agreeable, we finally managed to get out here and get the battery back in the truck. And we are now just driving back from picking up the truck, and we're going to go to town, and we'll do a video later that'll explain a little bit more of what we're doing. So we didn't actually film that night.
No.
It was quite something. We got back relatively late. I mean, it wasn't very late.
It wasn't too late, but it was late in the sense of we had still to get dinner going and things like that.
So. And, unfortunately, where this camper is, there's a very long driveway. I'll put in a photo of it. But with the snow and ice and stuff like that, it was actually pretty much hard to drive on. And in fact, undrivable. So we ended up parking the truck way at the end by the road. And I don't know how long it is, but it's almost a kilometer, I think.
I think
so.
Yeah.
It's quite a decent haul. So anyway, so we had to walk back from that, which was fine, whatever. So getting the truck going was interesting.
Yeah, it was.
And I felt so bad because we'd taken the battery out to keep it from freezing because we knew it was going to get really cold. We were going to be using the truck and so on and so forth. So we had brought it into the camper to keep it warm. And so it actually came with us when we came here. And so remembered to take it with, which was great.
Mm-hmm.
We get there and we put it in, and there's a piece that Sandy had to go and get back from the camper that we left in the camper.
Yeah.
All these moving parts. We get that in, we get the battery in, I connect two wires that are there. When I took it out, taken a photograph, and I remember that I took a photograph of like what was connected, which I couldn't find and didn't think about it at the time. And go put in the key and nothing happens. And we try, Martin pulls out, we then tried a bunch of things, we tried retightening it, all that kind of stuff. And Martin didn't have his jumper cables, and I couldn't find ours. I know we have a set somewhere, or had a set apparently, because I have no idea where they ended up. So we jump back in Martin's truck, we drive all the way to Martin's house, and then we pick up that, and then we drive all the way back, and we put the jumper cables on, and nothing. And the truck wouldn't start, and I'm just ready to pull out hair, but I don't have any. So I'm looking at the battery and I'm like, wait, there's what's this cable? And there was a third cable. So
Which, but it was tucked.
it was
It
kind
had
of
sort of
tucked.
bounced itself back underneath the hood a bit, so
Yeah,
it wasn't like it was immediately
I know, but I
noticeable. And
felt
if
like
you're not really
such a
a,
moron.
but if you're not
Like,
really a regular car person, right? It's just
true.
one of those things. And also, we were in such a like we were just very ready to get it going and just
Yeah,
moving, right? And also didn't want to be like it felt like we were always taking up so much of Martin's time
yeah,
already, and like didn't want to be dragging that out and those kind of
yeah.
things too and whatever. And so you're just sort of like trying to just get it
Get it
done,
done, get it
right?
done. So
And of course that's always when you miss those little
the
things
things
that
that are
are
right
like
in
right
front
in
of you.
front of your face, right?
So
So
anyway, long story short, three cables, got in, truck fired up, no problem.
mhm.
I didn't even have to put air in the tires, which was great.
Yeah.
But it did turn out that they had been logging, and they actually had moved the truck. They'd actually pushed the truck out of the way
I mean it
very
wasn't,
carefully, which
yeah,
was
like the
great.
truck wouldn't have been majorly obstructive. It was
No,
still off the road, but I for the size of their kind of vehicles and
yeah.
equipment and stuff, it would make sense that they'd need to
And
shift
we
it more. So
purposefully left the truck unlocked so that if something like that happened, it was movable.
yeah.
And so obviously they took advantage of that and they moved it, and there was no damage or anything like that. And it's a little frustrating. I mean, like, I kind of wish we'd known that they were going to be logging, because we would have had
Hmm.
the truck ages ago. Had
Potentially, we don't
potentially,
actually know when they started. So
yeah, but I mean, we could have possibly potentially
yeah.
have had the track. And so what we'll do is we'll make sure, like, for the coming years, that we sort of reach out to the logging company, because I know who they are,
Yeah.
and just say, hey, are you guys working down this road this year, so that we know for the
Yeah.
future.
And I mean, as time goes on, we'll have sort of our other preparations of
Hmm.
getting in and out throughout winter and that sort of thing,
Yeah,
and we'll have neighbors eventually too who will
yeah,
probably also be in one way or another coming and going, maybe just by snowmobile, but still, but doesn't hurt to know that the road itself is already going to be
yeah,
like
absolutely.
fully plowed, because it was fully plowed,
Oh
like it
yeah,
was right down to the earth. There's no
absolutely.
messing around there or
Yeah.
anything. So
But yeah, so I mean, like that, we were so happy to get the truck back,
yeah.
and I mean, so grateful to Martin, of course, for the taking us out there and
Hmm.
actually going and checking on the road when he did. That was great. So anyway, about well, we then the weather was pretty crappy. We had more snow and sort of cold weather and just grossness.
Yeah.
And so we didn't really want to go back there, but it was a couple of days, about a week almost, that it
Yeah.
was, but then we went
No, it was half a week between
half a week. Okay.
getting the truck and then going back for a
I have
second
this great
round.
memory, it's really short.
But
But yeah, so we went back to the camper, and this is kind of what, like, we were dealing with going in, and what happened at the end. Well, so as you saw, we retrieved our truck a couple of days ago, a week ago,
yeah, about a
maybe.
week ago.
And we very briefly checked on the camper, and everything was still there. But today we just finished a trek in to the camper to do some cleanup
Hmm.
and stuff like that. Because one thing about living off grid, you're bound to get critters. So we definitely have mice.
Yeah.
But Yeah, it's a bit of a trek because the snow is still quite deep and awkward to walk on.
Yeah, it's not too deep, but it is awkward. Like you're still kind of falling through it
It's a
every time.
workout. It's
So yeah.
it's an absolute workout. So, but yeah, so we just finished that, and now we're going back to
Well, we haven't finished it.
not
We've
finished.
done some cleaning
We
up
finished
today,
that for the
but
day,
yeah.
but yeah, we're heading back now. Gorgeous day though.
Hmm.
11 degrees. Actually, I had my hoodie off while I was working outside, so it was kind of nice. But yeah, so we're a little bit closer to getting back, which
Hmm.
is exciting. So we'll keep you posted. Um, so that was the trip, the first trip in. There wasn't a lot of damage per se, a lot of mess.
Yeah. A lot of the mess is from before we left. It's
Yeah,
not sort of stuff that's kind of built up in there. There
no,
was enough stuff that had built up.
for sure. And I
Um,
mean,
but
again, I think one thing that the sort of the sort of mess uh, speaks to is just how in survival mode we were.
well, yeah, we were just in chaos, and I
We
mean,
weren't like focusing on like, oh, I've got to keep this clean and tidy and stuff like
yeah,
that.
but it was also things about like um, because it was so cold in there, particularly because the floor was so cold in there,
Mhm.
we weren't taking our boots off
Yeah,
and switching it. I mean, we had thicker socks and things like that going, but it was just like even that wasn't cutting it at points. And with the amount that we were constantly coming and going in and out to deal with the fire or get wood or things like that, it was just like nonsensical taking them off. And we already knew we were in, as you said, sort of survival mode.
yeah,
So like we, we're trekking in dirt from outside in and out constantly,
yeah.
and I mean that left a lot of mess. And then also too on the way out, it was sort of, I mean, it's not like it was really last minute per se, like in
No,
that we had time to prepare ourselves and pack ourselves up and whatever, but there was a lot of sort of, okay, just pull stuff out, pack what we need, and then
and
we'll
let's
go.
go.
And so there's just a lot of crap on the counters and
Yeah,
things like that.
and I mean,
So
like, and we definitely know we have mice, and there was some
well,
mess from that. And I'll flash up a picture really quickly of the before of the floor, and then
yes.
we'll talk about the after. Um, but it's there wasn't a ton of damage, which we were kind of worried because I mean, there was a lot of snow, there was a lot of heavy snow, and then it would sort of melt a little bit, and that just condenses it, and then there'd be more snow. So
Yeah.
we were kind of worried that there might be actual like damage to the camper, but honestly, everything seems to be in perfect repair. I mean, there
Yeah,
doesn't seem to be
yeah,
any
nothing's
issues.
and I mean that's it too. Like you never we had these sort of, I mean we didn't really expect anything horrible to have happened, but I mean you do have the thoughts in your head of like, okay, but what if somebody who actually has the means of getting in and out there has gone in and ransacked the
Yeah,
place or things like that, taken our generator, taken whatever, right?
yeah,
Um, and to see that everything was basically just untouched when we got in there, and things like the roof hadn't collapsed under the
absolutely.
snow or anything like that was good too, because
Yeah,
that wouldn't have been great.
no.
So yeah, I mean, all in all,
And so I mean, we spent what two about 2 or 3 hours there
the
that
first
day,
time, yeah,
and then just 2 days ago, 3 days, 3 days ago, 2 days ago, we went back because again inclement weather in between with lots of heavy rain and things like that.
yeah,
And so we went back again for a second sort of round. We didn't film anything there like we did that first time, although I did get some shots of sort of the outside and what the
and we
snow
got
is looking.
photos from the inside of
Yeah, and then there's
progress too.
some progress on the inside there. Um, Sandy did some amazing cleaning up in there. I was trying to sort of clear pathways and stuff around the camper. It's kind of hard, but I mean, like you can see from the first trip to the second that the snow was easier to walk through.
Yeah,
So that's good. And I should imagine that with the warm weather we're having now,
yeah, and
um,
some of the rain
and some
too.
of the rain that we will undoubtedly have way less snow to deal with. But
Yeah,
there's a lot of water on the ground, and a lot of that sort of stuff. We've got to wait for that to seep in or evaporate.
but we dealt with that last year too.
Yeah.
That's no
So,
surprise or anything. So
so yeah. So I mean, like the camper is in good repair, which is which is good. We are slowly but surely getting ready to go back.
Yeah.
Um,
And we'll say too, I mean, it was nice going back in there.
yeah.
I actually wasn't sure how I was going to feel going in there because our leaving was under such stressful
Circumstances.
yeah, and the build up to that leaving had been pretty well stressful as well, but also just kind of heavy feeling. And you know, I had this sort of worry like, oh god, what if there's this sort of carryover trauma or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, and actually just walking back in there was just a really nice feeling.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, being here has been great
Absolutely.
too, but
it's not home.
yeah,
It's a home. It's not
Yeah.
our home. And I think that you know, our space is way smaller and
Yeah.
things like that, but it is home.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was very nice to sort of get back and go, this is home.
Yeah.
You know, and know that it was all in one piece was
yeah,
a big thing for
yeah.
us.
No, it was, and there was the sense of, I think, again, there was that worry like, oh, am I going to get back here and it's going to feel kind of like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And really, there was just that sort of sense of excitement.
Yeah.
Again, to get on with the summer. And get
Yeah,
moving
I think
forward
it started with
like
projects.
it really just kind of, it was not quite to the same extent, but kind of like when we got the camper in the first place, and it was
Yeah.
sort of like, oh, this is real again.
Yeah.
Like we're actually going to be doing this. So.
Exactly. So yeah, it will be very nice to get back.
Mhm.
And with the weather improving and getting warmer every day, we didn't go today. We have like probably one more sort of session of cleanup, or one
Yeah.
or two maybe. We want to sort of make sure that, you know, not that it's, you know, spotless or anything like that, but that at least we have a semblance of organization.
Yeah.
And
Some
you
of
know,
it too is actually just carryover from the initial move in the first place.
Yeah.
Because when we did that move, a lot of stuff was just kind of like cluttered in there,
Yeah.
and we haven't really had a chance to sort of empty things out and put them back properly and organize that way. So it's just that kind of
reorganization.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so with warmer weather and stuff like that, we're going to be heading back relatively soon to the camper. Of course, we'll keep you guys posted.
There'll be a lot to do.
There will be a lot to do, you know, and we couldn't do what we do without you guys.
Mhm.
Like your for reposting and liking our stuff on Facebook and Instagram, and just sharing with us and commenting on videos and watching these videos. That means so much to us, and we really do appreciate it. And there's lots of ways you can support, and those little things actually mean quite a lot. I mean, just watching this video with us, and one of the ways you can support, and that's always very helpful and appreciated, is Amazon wish lists. And someone has very kindly and very generously sent us 3 items from our Amazon wish list. So I'm going to let you open the first one, please.
Sure.
Yeah. Make sure people can see what you're doing. I think you do. Okay. Now, spoiler alert, I know what these are. Purely because I sneak peeked my wish list. I can't read that, so you'll have to put on my readers. All right. So
this is
a chain
chain.
Chainsaw chain, which is great, and really appreciated. Thank you, Robert.
Yes.
You
Sure.
just keep going because you're close to them. We really do appreciate things like this, and we try and keep. I've been trying to keep our Amazon wish list sort of up to date with things as we need them, so to speak. I mean, like trying to get like, you know, the stuff that's most urgent, and changing the priority so you can flip and go, you know, high priority, low priority, that kind of thing, and you can see what things we're sort of looking at currently that are more urgent.
Wow, it's another box.
It's another box. Yay, we like multiple boxes.
The thing is with the Amazon wish list too is that it's also just for us to remember to get things
Yeah.
too, so we don't forget.
yeah, I mean, we put a lot of stuff on there, but and some of it is just so like we're like, oh, we're aware we've got to get X, Y, Z, whatever it was.
Oh, it's amazing.
Aha.
So
Box.
it is another
Safety helmet.
safety helmet.
So that's
Chainsaw.
awesome.
We need.
And so, yeah, this one's heavy and big. I'll try to open this one. Trying not to elbow you in the face. Do this. All right. And there's another box inside the box. And it is another chainsaw, which is
Yeah.
fantastic. So, thank you again, Robert. Really,
Yeah, this is
for
amazing.
This is absolutely astounding, and that's just incredible, and that's is going to help us so much.
Yeah.
So interesting little quick story before we end this video. Our chainsaw, which is actually this exact same chainsaw,
Which we've been very happy with.
incredibly
May not
happy
be
with.
the top name brand, but it's been a really good machine.
It really has sprung a leak.
Yes,
Um,
up until that point.
Up until that point, we've been using it for the whole of last year very successfully.
Yep.
But unfortunately, it has now sprung a leak. And that's it needs to go for repair. So we'll be doing that. But having two chainsaws just basically is going to be able to help us sort of double our productivity.
Yeah.
So thank you again so much for this. It really is fantastic. And Remy came to say hi just for the end. But thank you so much again.
Yes,
thank you guys so much for watching. And you'll start seeing as we move closer and get closer to getting back that you'll start seeing more videos more frequently. So thank you so much for watching, and until the next video.